Alrighty, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to another live stream. Welcome to a new week. I'm glad that you're here with me here this morning. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm glad that you decided to check out this video, this live stream of trading. It's going to be a good day today. Today, we're going to be going over some higher level time frames. We're going to be looking at order flow. We're going to be talking about ICT concepts. We're going to be doing our daily affirmation, so be sure to hit the like button if you would like to stick around for that. It's going to be a good day today. We're going to go ahead and open in prayer, and then we will get started. Father, we just honor you this morning. We thank you for your goodness, your faithfulness. We thank you for your provision. Thank you that you direct our steps in and through all things, Father. We bless your name today. May your name be magnified in everything that we say and do. In Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen. Okay, everybody. Well, let's go ahead and let's pop on a little bit of background music. And we will get started. Good morning, Ted, Logan, Indian, Batty, good morning. Glad to have you. Old school. What's up, Blaze? How you doing? Michael, how you doing? Good morning. Brady. Evolution. Gia. Herman. Second time here. Well, I'm glad you decided to come back. That's always a good sign. Thank you, The Promise. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so we are 2 weeks into the new month. And the market had a nice sell-off last night. Okay? Nice sell-off last night. There is our sell-off last night. We have we're going to go ahead and mark our opening range gap. It's going to be a large discount gap. Where are we at? 15. It's going to be right there. We'll go ahead and mark this out, see where current price action's at. And as you can see, that is very large. And we've already ran our London. Let's see. There's Asia highs right here. No, there's Asia highs right here. Those are equal highs. There's our Asia highs. There's our London high. London high ran with these equal highs. There's some equal highs here. And London low was created here, so we're going to go ahead and mark out London low. And last but not least, we'll mark out midnight open, see where that's sitting here for today. Midnight open. We have our 7 a.m. level sitting right here. Got 5 minutes till the market opens. A lot of consolidation here. Let's mark out our range from our high to low and see what we got from our opening price. Midnight open is sitting, or equilibrium is sitting right here. That's our equilibrium of the range. Let me go ahead and shrink my face here. So if we anchor it from this, from just our current range, we could increase it higher and we could go all the way up here. But we're just going to anchor it to that high. And we got our midpoint right there. I've already marked out our daily. I did that last night. There's our previous day high, our previous day low. We opened up here and then have dropped without running our previous day low. We got some low resistance liquidity right here in previous days. We'll see if price wants to do that. And then we have our daily fair value gap that ultimately this is where I think price is going to be going towards. I will say that I was saying that here. So beginning of December I was watching this. But we've pulled away, made a higher low. Now we're getting to the point where I think here shortly, sooner than later, I think we're going to be running for these levels. Now let's go to our 4-hour time frame, which is where I like to spend my time. Not necessarily quantity of time, but I like to spend time in general here. We have a sweep of liquidity on the 6 a.m. candle, sweeping the London high and these equal highs in the 6 a.m. candle. That's drawing my attention initially for a continuation to the downside. If price wants to do that, we will know when this 6 a.m. candle closes at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. it will close and we'll have a new candle. And that's going to really tell us where price is going. This candle here swept the low, but was an inside, not really a decisive candle, just kind of making a low, potentially looking for a continuation higher. Looking at the hourly, we have the same thing. We have a hourly breaker right here with a 1-hour inversion fair value gap. That would be a SIBI connected and linked to the 3 a.m. candle. So I would be interested to see if price reaches down into here but finds support for a continuation higher, or if we close below that and want to move lower. A close below that at 10 a.m. would indicate to me that the 10 a.m. candle is probably moving lower. The 4-hour candle is going to be moving lower. That sweep of liquidity is our sign for a move lower. But this 1-hour fair value gap is attractive to me. Market's going to open here in 1 minute. We're staying inside this range. We have a large opening range gap. I am not opposed to the 930 model. We'll see where that opens. tell you what, that 930 model is gold. It really is. It really is. We had a handful of people join the academy over the weekend. Welcome to all of those that have joined. And if you're considering joining, we are doing a promotion that will end this Wednesday. It will end this Wednesday for 20% off. If you're interested in joining, I will tell you that trade right there that I took paid for the academy. That trade. Did anybody else take that? Anybody else take the 930 model? Big Fish Ocean, it's a model that I teach inside the academy. Everything else I teach on my live streams, but that's the one thing. When I started, I came across it and I reserved it for those inside the academy and to continue to respect and honor those people that said yes to being part of the community. I have not taught that publicly. We should mark out this new week opening gap right here. So here's our close, and there was our open. And we will mark our new week levels, okay? And then we will date those appropriately. There we go. Excuse me. Marking out our first presented fair value gap right there. Checking out the 15-minute time frame here. We do have this breaker in this 15-minute inversion right there that I do like. It's sitting up at the levels, our new week opening gap levels. If price wants to reach up there. I mean, this is a displacing form of candle, and we ran right through that opening range. We decisively ran through that range. We do have to have, we still have 10 minutes for this 10-minute candle to close, so we do need to keep an eye on it. But I am going to realign the opening, the NQ to the range, to the high of the range now. Because of how decisively we ran through that, I just want to reference where that is now. KTM, ICT concepts. Into ICT's lectures, you'll hear that if I were to go into the if I toggle over to regular trading hours, where is your first fair value gap? This can't be your first fair value gap because there's not a candle following it before it. So it's the first completed fair value gap, and that would be 931. Could be big fish, could not be. I guess you'll never know. I'm going to mark out this breaker. We just ran into it right now. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's see what happens here. I'm not terribly opposed to taking a trade against that, based on that level there. Get our first black candle following hitting this 15-minute fair value gap or 15-minute breaker. You see that level there. High, low, higher high, broke lower. This is our first attack of that level. Not necessarily saying that it's going to reverse here. I'm just saying that we did get a reaction. Do we got any news today? Has anybody seen if we have news? I haven't looked to double check to see what the news status is. News, FX, no news. No news. Pretty clean today. Is news good? News is always good. News is an excuse for the market to run, for it to have good price action. All right, we got 5 minutes till the 15-minute candle closes and starts giving us an idea of what price could do here. Retag of this 5 minute would be nice. Makes sense to me. Hourly, and let's look at the back at the 4 hour here. So the 4 hour is no longer looking like a sweeping to the downside, obviously. We'll see what it looks like in the next 17 minutes or so. Venezuela, oil gains peep with sales due to the supply. No, I mean it's like 100 million barrels, 90 million barrels. It's really small. I mean, I don't trade oil either, so I'm not the oil expert by any means. Yes, YouTube is always delayed slightly. Yeah, but how do you trade it? I don't trade based on news. I trade based on price action. I let news take place to determine where price may want to go, and then I take trades according to that. Price should reach down into this fair value gap. I want it to reach down into this fair value gap here. It's a new 5 minute candle, new 15-minute candle here. I anticipate it to drop here based on this 15-minute fair value gap that we tagged to some degree. There's the background music is from that's not it. That would be the channel there. All right, so we did what I anticipated doing. We respected the breaker. It took a little bit of time. We had displacement here. This candle was really the sign, in my opinion, that we were going to move lower, at least to that 5 minute, tagging that 5 minute fair value gap. We'll see if it wants to continue. I think I'm going to take a micro short here. We'll see if it wants to play out. Let me put that on the screen. There we go. All right, so my short's there, and we're going to look for a tag at the first presented fair value gap here. It's at 819, 820 area. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the best spot to me. 5 minute has been tagged. 15 minute, we do have an opportunity, I guess. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, I like it. I'll close this if we close above this inversion right here. I want to find that as my resistance to price and roll over here. Because it's a new candle, it makes it hard, because if it starts expanding, technically we should wait until we have the close of the candle. So you're just going to have to set proper risk management levels for yourself on how high are you willing to let this go before you determine that it's wrong for you. Like, you really can't. When you have something like that, you just have to close it. Now I'm on 1 micro. So I'm not dying over it. But that's sometimes what will happen when you have these plays like this, where it comes up into it and it still respects your level. The next candle can do what this does right here. So you just like I was talking before, it actually did it. You have to be careful to determine, is this going to do one of those things? Yeah, we're gonna close that. I like the idea of the 15-minute breaker. High, low, higher, high. We broke lower, came back up, was finding resistance at the new week opening gap level. That's where the idea was to come back down and tag the first presented fair value gap. Yes, I have been to 5F Church. Anytime, anything under the hour, in 1 hour or lower, because it's all going to be the same. The Asia is from 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. to midnight. And the London session is 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's pretty cool, Randy. Yeah, my wife is pretty plugged into that church. We got 7 minutes till 10 o'clock. I'm still green on the day. Took one win, have one loss. We got liquidity there. Got our daily. We're in the macro time. This is where I prefer to take trades, but you can see that we already started pumping right away. I had the idea that in the macro time we might be looking for price to move back this way, and it was wrong. Yes, that's all I trade, Jessica. I trade both on prop firms and on my own account. This is the Nasdaq. It's one of the most volatile and most traded markets in the world. So there's liquidity there for your orders. Your spreads are very small, so there's very low slippage unless you're trading news. and it's what I grew, it's what I learned on. There's support of previous week high. About 3 years ago, I made my first video on YouTube. I got that. I got a notification today. 3 years ago, I made my first YouTube video. So and that was before I actually came across ICT. So I've roughly been trading ICT concepts for about 3 years. Look left here. We have our opening or new week opening gap sitting right here. That's for today. So this is probably what we could be reaching for. At least that's our short-term reach, is rebalancing of that. We're really close. It's right here. Way to go, old school. Yes, I do. The promise. I should add this. I should probably just put this in here. If you're interested in the Academy, I don't talk about it tremendous amounts, but the promo code is New Year. If you're interested. That's such a big wick. Unless we're going to be in one of these days where we just go back and forth. On the daily time frame, I am bullish. The daily fair value gap here has been respected. Right there, you can see this daily. And we dipped down into that and even tagged this fair value gap, or the daily fair value gap right here. So from a higher time frame perspective, I am bullish. From a 4-hour perspective, we are in a consolidation range right here. Even bigger right there. Okay, 1 minute. I should say 13 seconds. Did we sweep this low? No, we didn't. All right, so I'd look at sweeping this low. If it gives us an inversion to go higher, I would take that. See how it's respecting the previous week high, still sitting at that yellow line. I call these out because it's just something I notice, and when you can recognize some of these levels, it might be a clue on where price is going. I'm not saying that it is going to go higher. I'm just noting what it's currently doing. This is how I read and kind of determine what I think is happening with price action. but there's no fair value gaps here. Thank you, Mingus. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. We obviously have some bullish price action. The hourly is there. The 4 hour is there. Look what it rebalanced. Just noting this. The 4 hour came back up and rebalanced the fair value gap there. Look at that 2 minute. That 2 minute looks really attractive for that long. Do you see this inversion right here? 2 minute closed nicely. I think I would, if I would have paid attention to the 2 minute, which I wasn't looking at the 2 minute, I don't think I would have took my short. That inversion right there made a beautiful expansion. That's a beautiful 2 minute inversion right here. Look at that. That's nice. So thumbing through and filtering through these different levels can be beneficial. So we got a 5 minute inversion fair value gap right here. Do we close below that in the next 24 seconds? Okay, so it didn't close. It does look heavy though. Still no fair value gap to the upside. Did come across this order block right here. These down close candles, then we created up close candles, so we find out where that high is. That's an order block. I just don't like the lack of fair value gaps here as we move lower. Yes, I do. Consider inversions on the 4-hour. Georgette. But we don't have one here yet. This one did create an inversion here to the downside. So this could just be a retracement on the 4-hour to come lower. But because the 4-hour is so close to the daily, I'm bullish on the daily. And we just got a very large displacing candle to the upside. So I'm going to look for longs. That means if we retrace some lower, I'll look at that as an opportunity to go long. I want to try to trade with the expansion of the 4-hour candle. We do have a sweep at 2 a.m. right here to then expand higher. But if we're in consolidation, we could see this. So that's what we're trying to be careful and cautious on. I think we will get some form of retracement, so you can play a retracement or you can wait for the retracement and try to play the long from the retracement. Either is a legitimate type of trade. How did I learn ICT? One day at a time, watching hundreds of his videos, hundreds of hours of videos, I should say. I like this order block holding here. If it shows me it wants to go higher from here, I would that is technically a breaker right here. Low, high, lower, low. Breaker. We do have reason to consider going higher too. I'm not saying it will, so we want to be careful. When we're in consolidation or where we have small pricing like this, where's the displacing candle? Which direction does the displacing candle go? I'd like to sit. I'd like to be on a beach again. I want to revisit the huge 15-minute imbalance. I like that idea too. I've seen many of those stay open though, right off the open. And then it comes up, does its thing, hits its target, and then it retraces to that, and then does a slow grind back up. Here it didn't. This was, here it didn't do that. Yeah, many times you should get a retracement to that level. Let's see what way it wants to go. At 950, why do I say that's not a fair value gap? No, that's a fair value gap. It's a fair value gap with an order block right there. Yeah, that's nice. I just don't know which way it wants to go from right here. My gut's saying higher. But my gut's been wrong. I know. I'm glad you can hear it. Every Monday morning. A close beneath this, I think, is significant too. But if we're not going to do that, we probably go higher. This is actually a relatively low risk entry for a long, because if we close below this, you just get out of the trade. Why don't we try that? I'm gonna go for a long, and then I'm going to go long here, and my stop is going to be a close below this fair value gap, because that would invalidate the idea that this fair value gap is going higher. It's relatively low risk right here. So when we talk about having to take risk, this to me is low risk, because you have a close stop. When it closes below this line, you get out of the trade. Now, could I be wrong? Yes, I could be wrong. There's a good chance it goes down to the 15-minute time frame, or the 15-minute fair value gap sitting right here. But when you're framing, here's where price action is going. We have an order block, we have a fair value gap, we have a higher target right here. There's reason for us to consider this long, and I think it's legitimate. So you just have to decide, is the risk of taking this trade, the loss that I could potentially take, worth the risk of potentially hitting this target of 48 handles? And so that's what we're going to go for right now. Is we're going to go for this target at 931, which would be sitting right here. So it would be a 6-to-1 roughly. Stop loss, I'm going to put a little bit lower, because sometimes we want to wait for the close. At this point, I don't want it really to go back down and run these lows. That to me would be manipulation. Or that this green candle was manipulation and not the actual move. So let's expand our risk to be the low. That's a 15 handle stop loss. It makes this a 3R trade. I think that's worth it. Let's see if this wants to play out. We'll keep our stop loss where it's at, and we'll keep our target where it's at. And that'll be a 3R trade. We'll see if this plays out. Close above that order block, that down close candle is a huge indicator, a very good sign. All right, I like that. I like that close. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I have a private live stream on Tuesdays, and then a backtesting session on Thursdays. We don't want it to come back down here. If we get another candle to come back down here, that's 4 candles of back and forth. We might endure some drawdown, and it could stop us out. We want to see the expansion here. We don't want it to come back down and erase what we just got from that green candle. Because if it does, there's I would say a high probability we're going to hit our stop loss. So I don't want that to happen. If you are here, why don't we hit the like button once we, what are we at? Once we hit 75 likes, we'll do our daily affirmation. Right after we hit our profit target on this trade. If you could move your stop to break even now, because we have swept an internal high, if you're interested in that, if you don't want to endure the 15 handles of risk, I'm going to let it either hit my stop. I'm going to either hit my stop loss or hit the target. You can do it however you'd like. Don't do that again, Jamie. I'm glad you're green at least. If we can hold where we are or be up in this uptrend, I could see us hitting it at about 9:30, or excuse me, 10:30. All right, let's see it hit this. Come on. Do me a solid. Do me a solid. We're up 20 handles right now. I'm not a fan of the low resistance liquidity because, or the relatively, this trend line here, because it could very easily run those very quickly, hit that, and then go higher. No, I already said that I'm going to let it run to target or hit my stop loss. I'm not moving to break even. Because we're in consolidation. Here's the thing with BC on my break evens. If we're in consolidation like this, moving your stop to break even is a good idea if you don't know what direction it is. But you move your stop to break even and it's not going to run right away, there's a very, very good chance you're just going to get stopped out, because price could easily come right back down here because it's inside of all of this. So I'm going to set my stop below all of it because price could do anything inside of here. And when it comes down to this level, there's a higher probability that it wants to continue that direction. That is when I want to know I'm getting out. When I think I know that price is going to run the other direction. It could come back down here and still not run the other direction and just come and keep coming back up. That's why I'm not going to move my stop to break even right now. We're really close. We just need one punch, just a punch, and then it'll probably leave us a wick and then move back the other direction. But we got our level set. We're just looking for that high and looking for that new week opening gap low to be tagged. There it is, and we are almost tagged. Let's see if we get another push here. At this point, I would move my stop to break even and into profit because I'm so close and I don't want it to run against me. You see how it, man, that stinks. Just hit the level. I'm going to put it at the swing low that was just created. So stop loss is at the swing low, 897 on MNQ or 898 on NQ. When we make equal highs or those levels to that, it's probably a good idea to take profit because it could run the other direction. All right, TP tagged. There we go, guys. A nice 60-point trade, 50-point trade right there. Trade idea was based on fair value gap being respected with lots of wicks on the bottom, in line with this order block and breaker being respected as well. We took our entry, had a relatively tight stop loss with our target of the new week opening gap right there. Nice trade. I'm going to pull off my execution chart, and I got a couple things I'm going to get set up. We're going to do our daily affirmation here. Give me a second, folks. All right, today's affirmation is going to be based on Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And we're going to do our daily affirmation. There we go. Okay, so this is Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. It says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Let us not become weary in doing good. Today's affirmation, while the affirmation is going to have trading characteristics in it, I want to encourage you that this is far, far, far beyond anything within trading. Right? Our life in Christ is significantly more valuable than anything we could do in trading or any economic advances that we make. So I want to encourage you to remember not to grow weary in doing good, but to stay faithful to the Lord. Faithful in being obedient, faithful in walking in righteousness. We have so many opportunities to not walk in righteousness. What are we doing when nobody else is watching? Here's today's affirmation. Today, I remain focused and faithful. I do not rush, drift, or react emotionally. I show up with discipline, clarity, and trust, knowing consistency is shaping the future God is preparing. You can look at this in your trading journey. That's what this channel is about. But it goes far beyond just that. It's very easy to want to get the short-term satisfaction of something in place of the long-term goal we have or the long-term plan the Lord has for us. And sometimes those short-term desires can derail us. For example, take an impulsive trade. I want to be green on the day. I want to win this trade right now. I'm just going to click it. I think it's going to go. Instead of remaining disciplined and doing the good thing you know you're supposed to do, which is following your rules, following your plan. So, I hope that blesses you guys in Jesus' name. Isn't this crazy? Look at that. Isn't that like the most perfect take profit you could possibly have? Isn't that crazy? We took profit right there. It ran a whole 175. It ran like 2 points higher than what we took profit for. That's a good TP right there. That's a good TP. I'll take that. We got a good amount of people here today. How many of you, I'm curious, there's over 200 of you here. How many of you are here for the first time? Give me a raise your hand or give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're here for the first time. What's up, Clay? Third time burn, welcome. First lad, welcome. Kai, K-Way, second time. The Advocate, welcome. You didn't feel comfortable going short from the top? No, I mean, I was focused on a long, so I'm not necessarily paying attention to going short at the time. John B's first time here. Way to go, John. Welcome. Yazin. Joseph. Way to go. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you for joining. I hope it blesses you. How many trades a day do I do, Jessica? I have rules. I have 4 rules that I follow. 4 max trades, a $250 max loss, no more than 10 micros per trade, and no averaging down over 10 micros. I modified my last rule of averaging down, allowing myself, if I have a position on already, let's say two contracts, I can average down to 4 contracts and no more than 10. So if I'm taking a trade with 5 micros, I can average down to 10 micros, but I can only average down 1 time. I don't want to average down more than once. And the average down usually is just to add to my position or to get a better average position because the trade still is legitimate, but maybe it has a deeper retracement that it's taking. On track for my best trading month ever. Way to go. Glad to hear that. Y2K. That's what this channel is about, my friend. I think this would be a better short now down to the 15-minute for sure. Even the first presented fair value gap here. Let's look at the 15-minute. A lot of wicks. This candle here, this candle will tell us how we close on this 15-minute. I think is going to be our key. We've got 9 minutes. If we close black, the next candle could easily dip down into here. All right, so now that we have a target hit, we do have a 5-minute change in state of delivery right here. Meaning we could see price give us the structure to move the other direction, lower. I like this breaker right here. Yeah, I like the short. I don't think I'm going to take anything right here. Personally. I like that close. It closed below this up close candle. Just itself tells me we're probably going to run this liquidity right here. What's up, Ralph Trades? Welcome. Yeah, once you're green, like I'm green on the day. Once you're green and you've made profit, it's just nice to want to consider getting out. That's a breaker right there. And we have low resistance liquidity right here. I don't see why we wouldn't turn around and run this right now. I'm not taking a trade, but this is where I would be watching. It would be something like this. We could go down to the 15-minute. That would be a big trade. I'm not taking this. Yeah, that would be 15-minute there. It could reach back up to here. We have a single fair value gap right here. It makes it hard to want to set a stop loss there. So you would almost have to set your stop loss at the high. That's just very large. That's a real possibility. If it's gonna delay and we're not in our macro yet, it could come back up to this level here. That's the thing. I like us being right under the new week opening, new week high, previous week high, the orange line there. Seeing if it can find support right here or resistance and roll over. That's attractive. I think because that stop loss is so high, you just got to go with a smaller stop loss. And then if it just does a wick, then you can re-enter. Do you think your TP was also the liquidity sweep of previous swing high around 950? No. I mean, it did, but don't think of it this way. Think of this 950 swing high stopping short of this level as a trick for people to go short. People are going long right here thinking they're going it's gonna hit the level, it doesn't, and it starts going the other direction. So people are closing their long positions, adding, and then institutions are adding here, and then it runs up to this level. Sweeping this high, yes, but hitting, in my opinion, the ultimate target that it was looking for. Macro times are when I look for most of my trades. It's the last 15 minutes of the hour and the first 15 minutes of the hour. So the macro, the 11 a.m. macro, 11 a.m., 15 minutes before that time and 15 minutes after that time, starts in 5 minutes. You'll see a lot of swing highs and swing lows created in the macro periods. If we get in the macro and we're still supporting this idea of running lower, I might enter. Try a short. If it presents something, Crystal, I'm done. My time for trading is done at 11:15. 11:15, I close my charts. I took 1, 2, 3. There's a chance for one more trade. See where that 15-minute retest would be? The immediate rebalance on it right here. It would be. Let's see if it does it or not. No, it didn't. It closed back. It's closing back above it. All right, new 15-minute candle. Closed. Yeah, right in line there. All right, if we get a retest of this candle, of that green candle, I'll take a short here. All right, right there. Oops. I'm going to take a short. We'll see if that gives us a short. We do have a fair value gap that we just dipped into right here. So keeping that in mind. $15-minute fair value gap is down here. I don't think that's unreasonable to ask for. That 15-minute fair value gap right there. I really could see this holding, unfortunately. hit the stop loss there. I did not close that position because it's right at the previous week high. I'm going to see if we can find support there or resistance there. Those breaks. At it again. Not liking it. But even though I don't like it, I can't close it when it's right at the level that I'm watching for my price for it to roll over on. I gotta give it some time. The Nasdaq. I don't know. Can you buy gold? What is gold at lately? Silver's at $85 an ounce, and gold is at $4,600. Holy macaroni. I don't trade gold. I haven't. How did he get into trading? Long story, Ralph. Long story. And I'm deciding to get out of this trade right now. Not a fan. We're probably going to have to close it. Or see it give me some type of retracement down, maybe average down. I'm at 2 contracts. ES is looking as if it wants to go higher here. Not a fan of that. And we're at the macro. This is probably not the time to try to test that out. Yeah, that looks pretty good for a long. Might give me a retracement here, but I want you to know how people get into the hardest thing to do. It is by far the hardest thing to do. Yes. Yeah. All right. I'm going to close the trade. All right, I'm out. And I think I'm going to call that a day, folks. Call that a day. I am looking at ES. That's what I was looking at. ES is right here. It's just behind my execution chart that I had up. So I'm going to call it a day there, folks. We will be back at this again tomorrow. So thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in joining the Academy, you can use the code NEWYEAR. But for those that are in the Academy, we will be going live tomorrow at 9:15 on our private live stream. So be watching out for that. So other than that, guys, God bless you. Stay safe. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.